In this video, Jay and I have an argument, even though we're not in the same room. We're going to talk eggs. I'm going to probably pull the Alton Brown, where he had Good Eats on for like 13 seasons. You know how he did it? He didn't make meals. He just started talking about ingredients. He could make an entire 2-3 part series on just ingredients and how you could use them. So I'm going to tart with eggs. Tart with eggs. The argument with Jay was, we were at a cute little diner, little deli thing right across the street from where he lives, and he asked for a fried egg. I went, okay. Before I go on, I'm going to pause. I want you to write in the I want you to all go down, pause this video, write a comment. What do you think a fried egg is? I want you to get those thoughts out on paper. And when you know, I'll wait. Go ahead. Have you written it yet? I know you're just waiting. Yeah, I'm not going to write a comment. Fucking pause this and go write a comment. If you went to a restaurant and you asked for a fried egg, what are they going to give you? If you know what eggs are. If you've never seen an egg, there's one. They're laid by goose. All goosies lay those eggs and we eat them. Alright. Smoke is left. Alright, basically, according to Jay, cousin whom I love, who I think has more knowledge about food than I will ever have, a fried egg is when they do a sunny side up, break the yolk, and flip it. And I would never in a million years believe that that's what a fried egg is. I think a fried egg, I think of a sunny side up or an over easy, which is just break the egg, solid yolk, or you know, a loose yolk. If you flip it, you could ask for an egg with, but a fried egg, I don't think of that as a thing. And then we discussed how my father could not understand the difference between a scrambled egg and an omelet. He thought because you put the eggs somewhere and you beat them, that was a scrambled egg. So he'd ask for scrambled eggs. He wouldn't want scrambled eggs. What actually scrambled eggs are is you beat the eggs, put them in the pan and beat them so that they're loose in little chunks. That's a scrambled egg. When you beat the eggs and put it in a pan and don't do anything, that's an omelet. And get this, the other argument Jay and I had, you can't have just a plain omelet or an empty omelet. It has to have something in it, and that's bullshit. Because if I beat an egg, I put it in here, and I do nothing and flip it, and it's just a pancake of egg, that is an omelet. Even if it doesn't have a fold, that's just a plain omelet. These are all arguments that were just going on in this cafe loudly. I started yelling. If you're in the Z Cooks Telegram, which requires you to be in the $5 or more a month bracket. If you're in the Cooks Consortium, you probably heard the audio, which I recorded immediately in that thing having this argument. Oh, the best butter. Oh, I just licked it. I feel so good. Anyway, yeah, this video's purpose in existence is so you can go into the comments and have a fucking argument about eggs. I'll sign in with my Z Reviews account. Jay can use the Z Cooks Consortium account to comment. And we're just gonna have a big fuck all argument about what actually constitutes a fried egg, an omelet. Which, by the way, here's the thing too. This is what I'm doing right now. Moving the candy. I like white eggs mostly. Not because I'm like, oh, but you must hate chickens because the brown eggs are so much more natural. The shells in the brown eggs are harder to crack. They're actually, I'm sorry, they're easier to crack and easier to just, they break apart and you have to peel them off. I cannot make what's it called with brown eggs, like hard-boiled eggs. All right. What's that banging noise? This goddamn Amish fucking milk. I discussed this on my live stream. Oh, streaming on Twitch is happening. Probably twice a week. I'm okay with that. How's my temperature? It's not bad if it's up. And I'm gonna make a cheese omelet. I'm gonna explain to you now that my cousin's eggs, and I would almost consider them scrambled, are not as fluffy as what I'm about to make. And you can use a blender if you have a blender, but I am 17% more efficient than a blender. So I'm going to make a cheese omelet, and you can count this as scrambled eggs. Here's what you do. You beat them in a Talenti thing. You lay down a thin membrane. You leave that, you put it down. Now you could have this up. You want that to cook sort of fast. And now if I wish I had a actual griddle, like a go to Denny's and they have a griddle, because here's what's gonna happen. And I'm gonna make a cheese omelet, obviously with, oh no, 2 types of cheese, because see, boss, we got Munster, which is one of the better cheeses ever to exist. We've got white American, because that sounds racist. Cheese. Come on. Cheese. Give it a feel. Give that feel. Here's the feel test. Not quite ready yet. Should have been up higher. And you could actually, if you could bias it off the heat a little bit, that might work to your advantage. Just wasn't a hot enough pan. But anyway, my cousin made eggs for everybody, and the next day I made eggs for everybody, and everyone agreed my eggs were superior. And it was this methodology. My cousin does the constant stirring method of eggs. Constant stirring. Oh, you got to be constantly stirring. Never, just always whipping them, and they always get they're not loose. But I don't do the constant stir. I do the layered pour methodology. There's a little bit left, and that'll be the last. Luckily, I have a giant pan here. Now, I've already got the cheese in there, and I could be very Zeos and just do another cheese layer. And I did Munster. Want to keep the Munsters on the same side, or want to alternate? Because you could do that. Put a taco in there. There's an entire cooked taco. I'm going to combine these cheeses. I hate those bags, and one of them ripped. So let's just combine the cheeses in a quart bag. It's not going to work. Am I out of gallon zippers? Fuck. Do a check. See if you can get the edges off. And it doesn't have to be hard on top. It just has to be enough that you could move it and throw it on top of the cheese. You'll understand in a moment. Spray it again. And you could use butter for all these sessions, but I'm just doing Pam because it's easier. I wish that would have covered over here. There we go. That'll be a nice little layer on top. How many people are ready to rock the house? This is done. And also go away in a second. Oh. That's a good non-stick pan, by the way. Pasco. Not quite ready yet. We're looking for just a little bit of solidity. You don't want more color than that. That's perfect. Now I don't have to put cheese in this. It would have just been eggs in a pile, and then I would have put on a plate and gone chop, 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 and that's scrambled eggs, and everyone could take it with a spoon. What I'm doing is making very thin, fluffy eggs, and then you have to be talented at some point. Give that the flip. Shut that off. Check to see if there's any cheese sticking. There shouldn't be. And Alton Brown's overdone and done in the pan is overdone on the plate means get this shit out of there. A little bit of cheesy goop. Take it off the heat. Now, if this was just a plain omelet, which does exist, that's gotta get washed. I would just go chop, 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 and it would be scrambled eggs. And it wouldn't. His eggs tasted exactly like the eggs you get in a continental breakfast at a hotel, i.e., shit. They're shit, Jay. This is the fluffiest, lightest, thinnest, the little thin. Let's cut down the middle. Keeping in mind that there's cheese in this, and I shouldn't have done it for this point in this review, but oh, so light. That's egg. That's a thin. Look at the layers. Look at the layers. If I had a giant griddle like they do in restaurants where it's just carbon steel and this big, you could lay that whole thing of egg out in one shot, and then you wait for it, and then you just fold it. And that's some of the best omelets. You could lay out the greens and fold it. But I don't have that griddle. And buying those like rectangular griddles that you put on top of 2 burners, they're always hot spotty. Nothing ever. You'd have to have it a 1/2 inch thick copper, and then you'd have to have, like, you'd have to set it and have it monitored with multiple infrared thermometers that are just scanning it and saying, oh, hot spot here. Actually, that would be an amazing project for. See, that's something that I don't have the electronic skill to do, but I thought of the idea. That was always the Garry's Mod thing. I'm going to go off on a tangent now before I eat my eggs because they're hot. In Garry's Mod, I had wonderful fucking ideas. Great ideas. And only about this much talent to make it happen. Anything to do with heavy-duty wire or any hard programming, I had to have help. So if someone could make, and this is, I'm opening this idea up, someone link this to people on electronics forums and robotics forums, Trozen Robotics. Infrared thermometer, right? Knows digital value for heat. If you can mount it above your stove and just have it scan, or even like your barbecue, just have it scan back and forth, and then it could have like an LED readout, either of RGB LEDs that show you the colors and the hot spots with the variation, or you could go a full phone app, or LCD just telling you where the hot spot is. Oh, it'll be great. I'm sure you could charge $10,000 for that. You're welcome. You're welcome, Internet. Whoever does that, just send me one for free. That's all I ask. Send me the prototype so I can monitor where the hot spots are on my stove. Because it reads pretty fast, and as long as you could do that, you know, and it knows, it could just say, all right, this spot here, then it could have a laser pointer on it, and it could point at the hot spot. Maybe you could focus a beam. I don't know. I'm going on now. Let's have some of my beautiful egg. My light, fluffy, cheesy. Honestly, this might be the best omelet I've ever made. I like tomato and mozzarella. Is my ultimate go-to omelet, but just straight up lots of cheese, fluffy layers. I win. I win. Now it's time for Em to bring her A game on the egg making front. Oh.